jump onto Himmelsdorf. We'll think about Ghost Town in a little bit. And Panthers, look, they don't look too shabby on this map usually. So he's actually going to get a bit of backup here. So where is the rest of the Panthers lineup? Are they doing the damage as Action X tries to make their rotate? Certainly a lot of it getting chunked on through. Tracks will actually survive. And so all of a sudden, Action X have kind of turned this back on its head. Bales, I dare say, should be off reload fairly shortly, which is going to start to become a problem for Action X. But as I see Super Conqueror, Madhouse, full HP, and that is a scary sign late in the game.
Absolutely so, yeah. On top of the fact that Bale's fully reloaded as well. Yeah, this is already quite a unfortunate turnout. And yeah, look, for Action X, this is not a good start at all.
Anyway, let's see what Panthers can do to kick things off on their defensive side. Also looks like they want to play relatively aggressive toward the south, but not as much. They haven't committed as much as what Action X have. That's not a bad start for the Panthers. Information as to where CJ is. Twit doesn't spot anyone else going down the hill either, so they have a pretty good idea that, well, CJ is kind of isolated, and obviously with the information now coming through, they know all 4 other members are working their way up Banana. I think Panthers have a great understanding of what Action X is looking to achieve. It is just looking so over. Cthulhu, there are many questions I think you have at the moment, and I will say I don't have the answer to them.
I might be on copium and hopium. I don't even know anymore, but I was expecting, you know, an actually, you know, well-coordinated few sets of games. But right now, Action X, honestly, you change the name from Action X to Wolverines, I would probably believe it as well. With the way how Panthers are just absolutely outclassing them at the moment. And yep, what was a pretty decent map for Action X before, Himmelsdorf now became the absolute nightmare.
Look, Action X, I think maybe we look to Tundra and say they are going to have to pick the pace up a little bit here. Do we get to see a 2-0 maybe from Action X to get them back into this series? I mean, he isn't a Super Kong, so at least he'll be able to give as good as he's getting at this point, but he's not going to last too much longer. He might get one more off his lucky, but yeah, Twit has it done. And Panthers have opened the floodgates potentially. It is a 1-for-1 at the very least, and good focus fire from Action X to take down the Super Conk on the other side of the field.
I'm not too sure how much will the BZs be able to really, rather the VZs will be able to really pump out the damage, and how long will the BZs stay. But surprisingly enough, actually Bales does fall before Tracks, so we actually into the tank advantage for Action X. CJ is very much disconnected from, so it is just a one-man job, and the reset is there, but at a very high expense. Oh no, CJ doesn't have the shot.
It doesn't matter, they've got the reset there from Dongalord, so the round is over as long as CJ can survive, and I think at this point we probably can make the gamble that that is going to occur. So Panthers, unfortunately, will be very disappointed by the result. In a pretty good position here. Still up 2-1. Moving on to the defensive Tundra. They can equalize 1 apiece on this map. They've still got a very hefty lead. He's also kind of delaying Rowendi. Yeah, like Rowendi is wasting a lot of time right here. That has potentially given Panthers an in back into this round. Now Madhouse has been left high and dry, but Bales is ready to farm. Super Conk in tow. JS will be the focus of fire, but again, that means you're not looking at the Super Conqueror. Good ram from Rowendi. Can Bales win this 1v2? You'd have to say so, right? Super Conk against the BZ75. I mean, the BZ75 certainly seems to be his arch nemesis at this point, but IS7 coming across as well for that flank.
Yeah, they have the numbers advantage, but Rowendi being farmed by Twit is not particularly ideal. CJ being low on HP as it is not good either. The one saving grace right now is the fact that Dongalord is quite high on HP. That double trouble from Rowendi and CJ is also quite good, so this is looking much better. But the problem being, well, I was about to say that Twit was quite high HP, but that is no longer the case.
Oh my. For the Panthers, good aggro juggling. Initial shots go on to JS and Bales. They back up Madhouse and Twit now at the front. And Crit has already dealt with CJ in the cax up on the other side of the map. This has gone from bad to worse for Action X, and it looks like Panthers will once again find the lead.
Panthers have been adapting that sort of pack play playstyle has been really showing its success really here against Action X's attempts to really be very much of a spread out sort of roster, being able to play for the map control.
He might be able to kill Crit here before he goes down, as long as he doesn't ram him. Madhouse around the corner here, can't land the shot, and Donga hits a nice little fadeaway. Obviously focusing on where he's shooting rather than where he's driving. I mean, the unfortunate thing is he doesn't really get out of here. And even if he does, somehow, there was no way he would be able to survive. Not a single point of damage done so far. 3 minutes bled off the clock by the Panthers. They won't be too disappointed to see that. But now Bales is going to have some problems.
Good push so far between CJ and Lightning Man, but the problem being is that they're driving into an absolute crossfire, so they need to just push through, get themselves into a few more positions. Lightning Man should not be farmed as much as he is right now, but at least he's providing that extra cover for the rest of the team to really do some work.
It's a big fight to win, though. I think Bales just gets the reload a little bit faster than Dongalord right here. Does he get the shot? No, never mind. It was Dongalord that got it through, and he pens through the turret. That is the nail in the coffin. I was really hanging on for that 1v1 because if Bales wins, maybe there's still a chance for Panthers. Obviously, the brawl wasn't going very well for them, but if there was an extra Cax, imagine that's Bales instead of Dongalord. You'd be looking at this and saying Panthers can win now. Adelaide Action X are able to hang on and take this one through to the tiebreaker. Madhouse with a 1v2. I mean, he is in a super conk.
Yeah, there it is. There's the finishing shots. Well played by Action X. That was actually still a good, a well-coordinated push, albeit it was quite a...
Panthers get themselves into an awkward spot. They are going to be dead very quickly. And they're just going to have to win it out in the brawl. They're just going to have to hit their shots and hope that Action X is a little bit sloppy. But you freeze frame right here, I'm probably saying Action X wins. Because as soon as Rowendi peeks up over that ridge, he is going to be dead. And Dongalord, even for his troubles, gets the reset, but sacrifices a huge amount of HP.
Oh my.
And suddenly it has just slipped away from Action X. They have mishandled this one. 10 seconds left on that cap, and I just don't see where the reset is going to come from. Maybe the Cax, 4 seconds left. I'm not even sure he's got the angle. 2 seconds left. Panthers, they have capped out, and they will go through to the LAN final. All right, well, here it is. It's time to see whether or not Sentinels can stand and deliver in the playoffs as they have done so many times before.
It definitely feels like a bit of a head scratcher because we've made so much progress during the regular season only to revert back to basics during the playoffs.
Look, I mean, is that still something that can get salvaged for the Matildas, though? Good shots coming through there from Whippet. Ball in his 50B as well. Doing a bit of a number to Rainbow. Wouldn't want to bounce that final shot. Does get it through. So now it's a 2-on-4. And all of a sudden, maybe you're starting to think this one is doable for Matildas. But the question is going to be, Return, what is he going to be able to get done? Down to a one-shot. Whippet should die here. Oh, Return can't quite catch him. These are crucial seconds as well, by the way. But eventually he does get it over the line. Now he has to finish off at least one more of these tanks with the next shot. And then somehow get away. I think he's won it. I think Return wins this. There's no world where Joe Atora can catch him for 2 shots. Surely not. Return, you got to just turn left, mate. Oh, and he's just around the corner in time.
Yeah, that's basically just now a ring around the rosy, really, for 4 minutes. Would be a bit of a curious turnout.
Thing is, if Joe keeps running, maybe you can sort of think about, playing the time, do something like double IS4, double Superconk, E100. Very heavy again out from the Sentinels. Not really much of a surprise. That's been their go-to.
Magic Shells need to get out of there before Rainbow is able to get another shot in. And ultimately, yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for an overmatch. Bolognese needs to rendezvous, needs to join up. They need to lean into this pack mentality heavily right now.
Not looking too crash hot here. Whippet should have that killing blow if necessary, but it'll go the way of Joe Atora, and that frees Whippet up for a big 760 into the side of Wymo. You're right. That's exactly how it should be going. The IS-4 of Rainbow will arrive. Again, Return into Super Conqueror, still looking fairly healthy as well. If Sentinels can find a killing blow somewhere, then yeah, maybe they were in with a chance, but I think it's a little bit too far gone now. Wymo's done a good job of surviving as long as he has, but eventually does get taken down, and so Sentinels, they will end up losing this round. Well, map control or Sentinels seems to be the name of the game. Very default setup, isn't it? All across the map.
Surely this is where the collapse, because Matildas will need to make that executive decision right here, right now. They need to get rid of at least one of those tanks on the approach. And with Rainbow already getting into the cap circle, and into the hold down position. For Whippet, it is going to be a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking fantastic right now for Matildas. I'm interested to see what the response is going to end up.
4v4, theoretically this could work, but Bolognese needs to stay alive for as long as he can. In the meantime, those shots need to land ASAP, and instead they're driving into the crossfire to get rid of Rainbow.
No one's even shooting at Sydney.
What?
So even still beyond this, I mean, the cap is going to be a bit of an afterthought for Matildas, but it's something that they have to worry about. You're right, they've given up so much. I mean, the game's over. I think there's no question about that one. But, like, I mean, Sydney's still not getting reset. What's going on? He could have stayed on the cap. He could have capped out in, like, 10 seconds just there. Win from Sentinels on the attack of Muro. Really good stuff. What have they got cooking up in the lab for the defense? Double Super Conk I see already. What else is there? Double IS-7. Dell in the CS-63. So a bit of mobility.
Is there enough time?
So sure. There we go. Return has got one onto Bowl, but it's not a really significant reset. I'm not sure that they get this one, Cthulhu. 3 seconds to Matildas. Are they going to cap it out? There's another couple of seconds being bought by Return, but where is the reset coming from? Oh, no! Did they get it? They've got it at the very last second. They've had to sacrifice Rainbow for it, finally.
Whippet is yelling right now at Ravioli because that would have been a freest clip as well, but that's beyond the point. That's the free farm. That's the second tank.
So on the defense, I mean, Dell's going to have to do something pretty magical to keep Safi safe, or try to at least assist Safi as much as possible.
Yeah, now it's no longer looks any good, because basically even just a ram from Bolognese should be in. Yeah, that's it. That's GG. At this point, yeah, plump down, whip it on the cap, get Bolognese in there, get Ravioli, magic shells to block the shots, and you got your whole setup done and dusted. Once again, another 1-1.
It's time to jump onto Sand River, and it indeed will be Matildas to start on the attack. And here is one of those moments where you'd look at this on paper and you'd say Matildas have a pretty significant advantage. However, Sentinels is the kind of team that not, or at least in previous seasons, would dig themselves out of this and make it look relatively easy. But, all right, well, Matildas, I mean, I think they're still doing some pretty good damage here. They're really relying on that cap, though. I wonder if they've almost overcommitted to the cap. Would they have turned this brawl if they would have just got off the cap and taken the fight? Maybe. Still, it's obviously a concern for the Sentinels, but they have the numbers, and Ravioli Al Dente is out in no man's land. He wants to get those shots in onto Return, and is doing so, but obviously in turn, he's now stuck in a crossfire again. And somehow he's still alive. I mean, the aggro juggling from Sentinels has been insane, but even still, is this winnable for Matildas?
Well, for all intents and purposes right now, Sentinels can just literally back off and wait for Matildas to waffle around and play for time. Oh no, magic shells.
And instead of magic shells being, well, fairly healthy, he's actually almost going to lose this fight. He does get Dell, but it doesn't matter. Cindy should farm him, and now Joe Toro's got no chance. So
it was a valid effort by Matildas, and Sentinels were able to read into this quite perfectly. Well played.
That was a relatively close round, all things considered, so maybe there's still some confidence there for the Matildas, but it is starting to get down to the wire. I don't know how Matildas is going to dig themselves out of this trouble, but maybe it's off the back of the 2-2-7-7s. Can they maybe get on top of Returned? His position is now going to be known in the direction of the Sentinels. Now Returned has been spotted, so that's kind of what I'm talking about. Those 2-7-7s do actually manage to get on top of Returned, which is a little bit of a problem for the Sentinels, but they do still have the overmatch in the main fight.
I mean, Rainbow, if he gets taken out here, this could be great. This could be a huge opportunity. Whippet's still alive, mind you, as well. So he could continue providing assisting fire here as long as he can stay alive.
Very much Bolognese balance.
Yeah, Bolognese now being in a dip, he is the next target, and that is the big overpush that he does not want to be in. It's a dirty word to say bait out engagements, but that was exactly what happened. They were able to force their opponents to give up some of those positions, and once again, it's, well, a 2-7-7 versus an S-Conk. I mean, how do you even win this?
Shot comes through from Sydney, and now he's cooked.
Nah, that's GG.
Because he can't push Wymo out of that position.